Hello.
G'day.
Welcome, Lady Amanda.
It is a pleasure to be here.
Yeah. And the here is, I don't even know what the here is yet, but I appreciate you pushing me to here.
Yeah. Well, I'm thinking here more literally, like in a house in Arizona, in the greater Phoenix area. Mm-hmm. That's where I'm thinking of the here. Yeah. But whatever the here will be.
Yeah.
Mystery.
And I'm thinking the here is on this podcast episode. Literally. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I've been throwing this idea around, thinking about it. You showed up with your podcasting equipment and you said, why don't we just why don't we just play around with it? And you know what?
We're doing it.
Why not?
Maybe it's only us that will ever know that this existed.
Maybe it'll go nowhere.
It might go nowhere.
But you know what? It's
Could
still
go
fun.
everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm glad we're doing it because we have nothing to lose.
Yeah.
We have the equipment. Before you lash out, or your mum lashes out and buys all the equipment, let's just do it.
Yeah.
We're rolling.
Yeah. So a little bit of backstory for our future listeners,
Mm-hmm.
potential future listeners.
Mm-hmm. Thanks, Mum.
Yeah. I've always been a podcast listener.
Mm-hmm.
Loved podcasts. Great information out there. But I always had this idea of organic conversation.
Yeah.
And it comes from my head nonstop chatter.
Yes.
Always thinking about something, curious about something, looking something up. But it's definitely fueled and better if I have somebody to discuss it with.
Right.
So as of lately, I started making a joke that my wife's unavailable. So I'm just going to talk to whoever about this.
And you don't even talk to people. It can be a polo. Well, I guess it's talking to a person.
Yeah.
But you are amazing at just rambling, but saying interesting things. You know how someone can just ramble for an hour? This did happen to me and I was just like, oh God. And I felt compelled to have to listen in case they asked me like, oh, what did you think about?
Yeah.
So I literally, every time I got in the car, I was like, another 5 minutes. So let me just do 5 more. You are very interesting.
Oh.
Like you are fascinating and you are very insightful and a deep thinker. So
I'm a very deep thinker.
Do listen to the polos. I'm like, wow. And I feel always bad that I don't reciprocate with an equally amazing polo. But
don't feel bad.
I want you to know that I've really appreciated yours and this is why I've pressured you so deeply.
Thank you.
Because I believe that you have things worth saying.
Thank you.
And that someone more than my polo should hear this.
I really appreciate that. I love that. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
Yeah. So the idea came about because my wife works from home. Mm-hmm. She's a very busy person. Her work requires a lot of her attention. And I'm over here bebopping around, Earth and just like any curiosity that comes to my brain. Mm-hmm. The first person I want to share it with is her.
Right.
But for at least 40 hours out of the week,
she's unavailable.
She's unavailable.
She has made other priorities and we respect that.
Yeah. So I was like, you know what? Maybe I just start something up.
Yes.
Have all the conversations that are on my mind with somebody else.
I would love this because I'm the person that has the random questions. Mm-hmm. Like, for example, our conversation about turf, because I'm fascinated that there's no lawn here, but yet people sometimes have these beautiful lawns. Mm-hmm. And it's not only just like you'll state a fact, like, they have turf. I'm like, but what does it cost? How do you maintain it? Like my brain is like firing on 300 questions about bloody turf. And it annoys some people because some people are like, who cares? I don't know. It's just turf. But you are so patient. You are like, this is how much it costs. This is what you do. This is how you clean. So this is why, yet again, this is great.
I love the curiosity.
Yeah.
I love meeting somebody else that is just curious for the point of being curious. Like,
right.
It's not to find an answer. It's literally just having that curiosity, being able to be like, I wonder why, blah, blah, blah. And letting yourself like using your imagination, letting yourself wander down that path.
Oh, I even had an example, and this goes beyond the turf, like even lower.
Okay.
We're at
That could be like a saying. This goes beyond the turf.
beyond the turf.
Yeah.
So we're at Bash's, which is a supermarket. Would you call that a supermarket?
Yeah,
here
grocery
in
store, yeah.
Arizona. I walk in and to me it looks like Safeway. So I'm like, this looks like Safeway. So the entire time I'm in the store, I'm asking these questions like, is it really like a Safeway? And Emma, your wife, who's unavailable, was madly rushing around trying to find things, did not have time to answer. And she's like, yeah, it's Bash's. And I'm like, but why is it called Bash's? Like, it's a weird name, Bash's. And she's like, I guess it was the guy's name, like Basher. And then I was like, Basher? Who has the name Basher? Then I look on the wall and I see a sign, Eddie Basher. And
I didn't even know that.
I was reading it's like a whole, like when he opened the store and like Phoenix and blah, blah, blah. Anyway, that's an example of like how my brain is like constantly like things that no one else even looks at. It's like, it's a supermarket. It's called Bash's. That's what it's always been called.
It's so refreshing to hear you literally state what you're thinking like that. But not, it's not an annoying way. It's curiosity.
It's like, I mean, it has annoyed some people.
Why.
Like, why do you ask so many questions?
Well, it doesn't annoy me.
Thank you.
Which is why we're here.
Thank you. This is why we're here.
Yeah.
Because we have the things that no one else wants to listen to. So.
Yeah. See, and I was in Bash's somewhere else. Probably
there's
like
more than one.
Probably no, I was in the same Bash's.
Oh, these same. You were in a different aisle.
I was somewhere else. I think I went to the produce.
You did.
And
you got some salad.
And I'm fascinated by how many different kinds of salads there were.
Right.
And I'm literally just like, man, and the different prices. And I'm like, why is it? And I mean, salad. And my head's going and I'm just like, walk away, like, because I'm by myself. So
right. I got no one to pester with these questions.
Keep it in my head.
Right. So between the two of us, poor Emma, no wonder she was on the moonshine yesterday. Oh God, please guys, give me a break. I'm exhausted.
Yeah. Well, there will be mornings, and this is more recently, which has also pushed me to think about the podcast idea, because there will be mornings where we get up and I'm ready. I'm ready to talk. I'm ready to discuss. I don't know. I have no clue why there are already things on my mind.
Oh, you've had 8 hours of no talking.
That's what it is.
You've woken up with questions.
Okay, here we are again.
Yes.
Yeah. And I'll start talking. And some mornings she handles it like a champ.
Right.
Other mornings
she's the patience of a saint.
Other mornings I can just see on her face and I'm like, I need to stop talking.
Yes.
Because I'm too much right
Amanda.
now.
Yes.
Yeah. And we've gotten to the point where we have acknowledged it and it's kind of like a joke now. Whereas before, I don't think she really wanted to say anything to be rude.
Aww.
But so I now I'm like, I need to stop talking.
Yeah.
And then she'll like laugh. Or now we're comfortable enough in the subject where she'll be like, I need a few minutes. Like, I'm not awake or something like that. And I'm like, got
She's
it?
really good.
Shut my mouth?
Yeah. Done.
But then it doesn't shut my brain.
It doesn't.
It just keeps going. And then sometimes I get, oh man, can you hurry up and be ready for me to talk to you? Because this is really exciting. What's going on in my head?
And then when you say the exciting thing, is it often not as exciting for anyone else? Because I find this, I'm like, oh my God. And they're like,
yeah.
Okay, so the supermarket was called Bash's. Woohoo.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, but isn't that like a really weird name? And
yeah. No, never.
Yeah.
I'm always like, but did you hear what I said?
I said his name was Eddie Basher.
Yeah. Can you believe that? He was a regular old bloke.
There were 8 different types of salad. Can you believe that?
I know. Yeah. So I don't know if it's just like I have this fascination with the world. And I also I've always been very in touch with my I don't know, what do you call it? My inner child or whatever.
Yeah, I think I'm the same.
Yeah, and so I just I get I don't know. I just always have been. I've had like a childlike playfulness, curiosity.
I think it's a great way to be.
I don't feel bad about it.
Definitely, we should not.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like I agree. Yeah. I think seeing the world as a kid, you know what I mean? Like the kids ask the random questions and everything is new and exciting. Like having that same experience as an adult.
Mm-hmm.
Like even walking into your house, it was so exciting for me.
Yeah.
Like I genuinely was like, this is amazing. Like your house is beautiful. Like I love these tiles. Like it was genuinely Like I almost feel a bit emotional about it now.
Yeah.
Like it was really like meaningful to me. Like
Yeah.
I enjoyed it.
That's awesome.
You know, where someone else will walk in and be like, oh yeah, you got a house. That's cool. Yeah. Where's the bathroom?
It was honestly really special to have you comment on certain things too, because it made me realize like, yeah, that is cool. This is a nice house. Like we do have a nice place.
Oh, yes.
And you know, a lot of times you get caught up in comparing, you know,
Right.
with other things people have, and no, it's not the nicest house. It's not that big. It's, you know, but when I sit back and think about it, I'm like, it's perfect for us.
Exactly.
It suits us so well.
And you don't have an extra 300,000 of debt like those other people with the beautiful houses.
No,
you know what I mean?
goodness.
That is, I read some quote the other day and I can't even explain it. It was something like someone that, let's say, lives in a trailer or whatever and drives a beat up car. I think it was something like they just drove a beat up car, you know, but yet it was fully paid for. Yet, thinking that the person driving the brand new Mercedes had it made, yet they owe 90,000 on that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like perspective.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. So anyway, but I really want to ask you more podcast questions.
Okay.
Not to like totally just like switch gears.
No. Love it.
But
our brains are firing on different.
Yeah.
We're just like bing, bing.
Yeah.
Ooh, squirrel.
Yeah. But no, I have more questions for you. And then I was
Okay.
like, let's just wait till we're recording and get this. Not that
Yes.
I'm like,
Because
really,
really,
this on record, but
I'm not going to lie, our entire day could be a podcast.
it really could.
Like if we just had microphones wired to us,
Yes.
we could literally live stream all day. And I'm sure the other people like us would be fascinated. Everyone else would be like, oh my God.
I have joked about getting like a GoPro and just wearing it all day. Like
That's actually genius.
and then I would talk to the GoPro. Like I would
It's actually
I would say my
genius.
thoughts out loud instead of just thinking them.
Yeah, because you can get these days little microphones that attach to your like collar.
Literally, that's what I would do.
I'm not even going to lie. It's a brilliant idea.
Okay. Well,
May
don't
do it
steal
myself.
it.
Oh, I meant jokes.
I'm just kidding. If you want it, go for it.
No. I wouldn't want to be. Okay, thanks.
Yeah, but no, I want to ask you more about podcasting. Okay. Let's see. What do I want to ask you first? What was I about to ask you before we were rolling?
Was it a podcasting hosting podcasts?
Oh, I was going to ask if you know anything about like YouTube channel. And then, because there's a lot of people that do a YouTube channel.
Yes, I did.
And then like put it on Spotify or whatever.
Right. So what I did was, does Spotify just do voice?
Yes.
Okay. So I have a podcasting host called Buzzsprout. And basically you can sign up for every major podcasting host, I guess. So like Apple.
Platform.
Spotify. Yeah. YouTube, like all of those via Buzzsprout. So basically each one, like Google podcasts, there's actually surprisingly more than you would even think of. And I don't know like who accesses them all, but so that allowed me to sign up to them all. So once I release a podcast, it goes to everyone. So Spotify will get the new episode, like YouTube. And I actually have it auto posting to YouTube.
Okay.
So when I release mine every Saturday morning, it's via Headliner is what that's called. And that will automatically, and it also can make a transcript for it and everything. Okay. But yeah, I do have a YouTube channel, and like I say, and I've added little shorts to it because that seems to be what's
videos?
more. Yeah, little short videos. But my podcast, although it doesn't have a video to go with it, it'll just put your logo over it so someone can watch it on YouTube. But surprisingly, a lot of people prefer to do that. Like they'll be at home on the treadmill and just put it on the TV. Yeah. So it's like they're not having to like have it in their ears or whatever. So, yeah.
Yeah. I think ideally I would like a video platform.
This could be you. This like what I'm looking at right now.
Yeah.
You've got your headphones on. You've got your pod mic in front of you.
Yeah.
You got the microphone stand. I'd watch that.
Yeah.
And I do watch podcasts of people just like that.
So more equipment mom's going to have to buy, but.
Man, it doesn't need to be. It can be your phone.
That's true.
It can literally be your phone. And I saw you had a stand right there.
Yep.
Yeah. Done.
Yeah. Because I just, I don't know. I feel like I would like people to see where
Yeah.
the voice is coming from. And
I agree. I did have
I'm
that
talking
high
with my
hope.
hands, you know?
Yes.
You had that high hope?
I had the high hope. My biggest issue is where I lived in Washington. We were so far up the mountain we couldn't get regular internet. So we had CenturyLink, which was 7 megabytes per second. Like it was pretty much a step up from dial-up.
Mm-hmm.
So even uploading one episode of a podcast could take me hours, a video a day, you know. So it was just like, this is at this point in time
not working out.
No, but here, I mean, you're in town. You can.
Yeah.
The internet's great.
Huh.
I've uploaded mine in like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah, you definitely, I think, should go down that route.
You got me more to think about. That's for sure.
Yeah. No, I'd love this.
Yeah.
I would love it for me to be watching you. I think you're great.
I would love it for me.
I think you're also very expressive and you talk a lot with your hands.
So
and
expressive.
I appreciate that.
Oh, man. Well, that's good.
Yeah. I mean, when you accidentally knock the mic, not so much.
No.
But I see you rein it in and you're like,
I know.
I like how you touch it like, I'm sorry.
I had to make sure it was back.
Yeah.
It was back.
Sorry. And then,
Yeah. Very expressive. Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Yeah. And be careful if you get me laughing. Like,
I know. I love it. I think you are going to be so well received. And you know what my favorite part of you is?
Oh, do tell.
You're just you. You're not afraid to be you.
No.
I feel like I don't have that same confidence. Like you walk in the room and you're like, this is me. I'm wearing what I want to wear. I don't have that self-confidence and I envy it in people that do. And I don't say I envy it. I just think what a beautiful quality to just be so like comfortable with yourself.
Yeah.
So this is why I'm like advocating for you to do this.
You know what's funny is it sounds bad when I say it, but I've always been like, I don't care what people think.
I love it.
Because I don't.
No, and I love it.
I don't care, your opinion on me. I want people to know that like I'm a good person.
You're the most accepting person I know.
Yeah, but then again, if I think about it, there's no one that's ever questioned that.
No, because you're just genuinely a good person.
Yeah.
Like you and Emma have the kindest hearts.
Oh, thanks.
Like you made me a welcome package.
Yeah.
Like you're just so thoughtful. A cat toy for my cat. Like you're just thoughtful, genuine people. Anyone that looks at you, that interacts with you for 5 seconds, ordering a coffee, knows that.
Oh, that's nice.
So I think it's admirable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope people.
And I'm a people pleaser. This is my problem. I'm a people pleaser. So I'm always like, I'd rather they be happy than me.
Yeah. I mean, it's honestly so hard to not.
Yeah.
Like I always say that everything comes down to boundaries or a boundary.
Right.
It's like, but it's so hard, especially when you have such a big heart, to not put other people first.
Right.
It's so hard. But then sometimes, like for me, I get to a point where I'm like, I'm burnt out. Like I haven't done a single thing for myself for self-care and I'm running out of energy to put into other people.
Yeah.
But
that's good. Someone they didn't give me advice, but they said something that made me question everything. And it was one thing. It was my neighbor and she said, she was saying that she'd been somewhere or whatever and she said the person was a people pleaser and she goes, I never trust people pleasers because they just tell you what you want to hear. And I was like, oh. And I thought about it and I thought, I'm not that type of a people pleaser. Like I don't just say things because I think that you want to hear it. But it's more along the lines of, where do you want to go for dinner? I don't mind. And I don't have strong opinions on things. Mm-hmm. Like I will find something to eat anywhere. Mm-hmm. I genuinely don't care. If you want Mexican, I'll enjoy Mexican. You know what I mean? Like I'm not the person that's like, no, I've been craving this all day. Like, you know what I mean? So it's more those things like, what do you want to do? I actually don't care. I'm just happy to be spending time with you.
Yeah.
So that is, I guess, my people pleasing. It's not like I'm just like too scared to say, I really want to go do this. Yeah. I'm like just genuinely happy to be around or to be just chilling. You know what I mean? Yeah. So whatever we do, if we go to the dump, I'm good with that. I'm happy to help. Like, you know?
Yeah.
So, but when she said that, I thought, I really need to be more conscious of, am I doing this just to please? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm the exact same way, especially with
Yeah.
like food, because I like all food.
Right.
The only thing I don't want to eat is raw tomatoes. And
Yeah,
anyone in my life
fascinating.
knows that.
But you'll eat a cooked one.
Yes.
Huh. Fried green tomato?
I've actually never had a
I've
fried green
never. I
tomato.
want to.
Yeah, I don't. Where do you
I'm-
do you have to be like
I
in the
don't know,
south
but
to get
I'm
this?
going. I swear to God, I'm going to eat.
I think
a fried green
you'll have no
tomato.
problem finding.
I'm
them
actually
in the
going to
South.
go to that cafe.
Oh, there's a cafe.
You know, the
like
one from the movie.
I haven't seen the movie.
There's a cafe. Oh, I
Gentle.
I hadn't until like a month ago,
Oh.
so I'm relaxed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it like something I need to go rush out and rent?
Yes, Emma and I watched it.
I think it's on. I don't think I have to rent it.
No,
I think
we
it's
did.
on
We
something.
did. We watched it.
Netflix.
We had. Was it the end of April? We set ourselves a challenge, and we had to watch it,
Okay.
and it was amazing.
Yeah, and I know she joked about this, but on the serious side, we should have like a movie club.
Oh,
Like just every month we
I would
like
enjoy
watch a
that.
different movie and then we can discuss it. Like not
Yeah,
like formally discuss it, but you
No.
know, talk about it.
I agree. Because
Hit the mic, make sure it's okay.
that is true because so many like these movies like Fried Green Tomatoes, I've never watched. Everyone is like, "Oh my God, it's my favorite movie," whatever. Even Ghostbusters. There's so
Love
many
that movie.
so many like cult movies that
Wait, have you not seen that movie?
No, I've never seen it. Do you know what I mean?
We might have to watch it right after
That's
this.
what I'm saying. But if someone sets me a challenge and says we need to watch blah blah blah,
Yeah.
I'll watch it.
Yeah. Let's do it. I mean, we could even do like monthly. It doesn't have
Yeah.
to be over the top.
Yep,
One movie a month.
done.
Dude,
Lock it in.
start with Ghostbusters.
Okay.
Love it.
Love it.
Okay, more about podcasting.
Okay.
So, I don't know what my next question is going to be, but actually, how did you figure out about all this equipment?
Okay,
Did you just
so I
like do
did-
some Googling?
I did my research and there were many different options. You can start off with $20. You know, like you could have your laptop, have your computer, plug in a microphone, and done. You're recording a podcast. And then, like I said, you'd need a podcast host, so you have to pay. I pay $18 a month for 6 hours. So
And what is that? What is the host doing?
The
like
host
holding your
yes,
episodes?
exactly.
Okay.
It's giving me a place to store the episodes and upload them.
Okay.
So were I to stop paying, I'm sure they would remove them. So then if someone wanted to go listen back to episode 1, it wouldn't be there. So I
Oh.
just pay. But you can start off, there's a free one, which is 2 hours a month. So you can start off just doing that. But I don't think they store it at the 2 hours.
Yeah, but almost $20 a month. That's
Yeah,
not
well,
bad.
it's even less. I think it's $12 for maybe 4 hours. Maybe it's a little bit more. Maybe it's 3 hours. It's whatever it is. I paid for the 6 hours because I figure an hour a week.
Yeah,
And sometimes it goes a bit over. So that seemed to work best for me. But you can go up or down.
yeah.
And then if you go over, so let's just say you only had the $12 plan and you did an extra hour, I think it's $3 an hour.
Okay, and then what about this equipment?
Equipment, I did my research. 2 ways you can go about it. You can, like I said, just plug straight in and record. Mate, you could literally record on your phone. You know what I mean? I have a cousin in Australia who's 13 and he makes his own podcast.
Oh, that's so
and
cute.
he's got an iPad. He has a microphone. He just speaks into the microphone, records it on his iPad and uploads it. You know what I mean? Like you can
It's
go
adorable.
cheap. But the way I did it was I got a mixer. And the real reason for this is I didn't want any aftermarket processing. Like that's
Yeah.
probably a bad word, after processing.
Like having to edit.
I didn't want to
Cut.
add music.
Okay.
I didn't want to sound effect. I just wanted whatever happened as I was recording, that's the finished product. By the end, upload.
Yeah.
I didn't want to sit there editing it, making the volumes correct, putting
This is
the
why
music
you're my
in.
first guest.
Right.
That is my vision.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I just wanted it to be like hit record, hit stop, done. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes I hit the music and I'm like, oops, but I just wanted it to be like this, like
Yeah.
you and I chatting and whatever happens, happens. That was my reason for going with the mixer. And it's a Rode, which is actually an Australian brand. So
okay.
they're actually good quality. And the major thing that you want to look for is your microphone.
Yeah.
You want a good quality microphone. And they're not terribly expensive. Like I think these were less than $100, like maybe 98 or something.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can get the stands for like $10. Like you can get cheap ones. I spent a little bit more because I tried the cheap one and it was very like noisy. Like it had a spring, and every time I opened and moved it, it was like ching ching, and I was just like, oh. So anyway, I ended up returning that and lashing out. So you
sprung for
for the no spring. Yeah. So basically that is all I have. I have a mixer. I have 3 microphones. I've only bought 2 on this little trip down to see you guys, but headphones. That's the other thing. And honestly, I'm not going to lie, these are like $20.
Yeah.
But I actually got a package. I think it was like the headphones, the stand, and the microphone was maybe like $116.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like honestly, I think the headphones are the cheapest you can get.
Yeah.
But all we need to listen to is I just need to hear that it's working, and then I can adjust the volumes.
Yeah.
So, for example, you'll hear that I'm fading away,
and
now I'm coming in strong.
I love it.
So, yeah, you can play around, and then there's like little sound effects, there's music. You can assign the buttons to do things.
Yeah.
So, like there could be clapping, there could be,
like would you have any set up right now?
I do. I couldn't tell you what they are, so it's going to be very random.
Hello, lady.
Oh, that was a voicemail. Sorry about that.
Oh, yeah, that's describing that last, button. Oh.
So, yeah.
The crowd.
Like that. The crowds are, yes. But you can assign anything. So you can have your own personal thing, your music. Like if you have an intro, an outro.
Yeah.
You could record an intro and be like, blah, 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 and then just hit that every time. But, yeah, you can also do this all via software. Okay. So don't think you have to have this. When I did my research, I was like, this seems the better option for me.
Yeah.
And especially traveling. I don't need to hook this up to a computer.
True.
I've literally just set up the mixer, set up our microphones, and here we are.
Yeah. It took you about maybe all of 5 minutes to put all of this
at the most.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that was only because I had literally pulled them all apart.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Had I left the microphones together, it would literally ching, ching, done.
Yeah. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Any other tips you can think of? Well, let me ask you. Oh, okay. Go ahead. You answer that first.
My tip, which we are doing, is just do it.
Okay. Just do it.
I didn't want you to overthink it, write a script. I wanted you, and unfortunately you had all night to think about it. So when you woke up this morning, you're like, I think I need to really think about this. And I really just wanted you to us to talk. And like I said, we use it, we don't use it, we never hear it again. I just wanted it to just be, give it a go. Test it out.
I'm pretty sure this is the start of something. So
I'm not going to lie. I know it is.
You'll forever be my number one guest.
When I hear it, I'm just hearing this whole conversation. I'm like, this is pure gold is my thoughts right now. And if we love it, I know.
That's all that matters.
That at least your mum will.
She'll love it.
Yeah.
As soon as I tell her, she's going to be like, when can I listen?
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So, but I was going to ask you.
Please do.
Is there anything that you know now that you wish you would have known? You wish you would have known, or someone told you when you were first starting?
It probably would have been the advice I just gave you. Just do it. Don't overthink it. I scripted it too carefully. I would sit there for hours and literally write out word for word what I was going to say. And I'm not even kidding. I would be like, so blah, 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 blah. And I'd research things I would basically do an Australian USA comparison thing. So I'd do a thing about hummingbirds because we don't have hummingbirds in Australia. And I would research it to the nth degree, and then I'd have facts. And I felt like when I listened back to it, I was reading it, and it just did not seem natural. It didn't seem entertaining, and I'd often have a guest. So I'd read these paragraphs to them, and I was like, when I listened back, I was like, that's so boring. You know what I mean? It's better to be more conversationalist and just whatever is going to be. And my best episodes are when I literally have had the busiest week and I'm like, I have nothing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I've committed to myself to record one episode a week, release one episode a week.
Yeah.
So
Go with the flow.
I don't care if it's half an hour of rambling, but we are doing it.
Yeah.
And I'll often grab a friend reluctantly and be like, please.
Yeah.
And my friends are so gracious and we just talk.
Yeah.
And by the end of the episode, I can't even tell you the amount of times like Emma will call and be like, best episode ever.
Oh, that's so awesome.
Yes.
Yeah.
So my biggest advice, as I've said, is just do it.
Just do it.
Don't overthink it.
Nike.
Just do it.
Yeah. They're not a sponsor, by the way.
No,
but
not
I
yet.
wish.
Not
Yeah.
yet.
Come on, Nike.
Yeah, God, give the little guy a go. Don't overthink it. Don't write a script. Just you might have points. Like sometimes I have pointers, like questions that I want to ask.
Yeah.
And I often ask the same questions. And I actually think that is another great tip
Okay.
because people get to know the questions that you're going to ask. And it's almost like they're disappointed when you don't.
Yeah, they want to hear the answers.
It's like you were like, you didn't ask me about, you know what I mean?
I was like, ooh, she's going to ask me.
Yeah.
Oh, she's going to ask me. Yeah.
And I feel like I think it's when people are listening to your episode, they're probably thinking how they would answer it. So then when they get a chance to be on your podcast, they're like, oh, she's going to now ask me how many states I've been to.
Yeah.
And then I don't. You're like, I already had calculated how many I've been to.
Yeah.
You
Now I
didn't
have to
ask
go
me.
back and count
Yeah,
again.
it's like very disappointing. So I think it creates a sense of like a structure without having a structure. Like it's very organic because you are just talking whatever.
Yeah.
But it gives some sort of, structure that
that's a
people
really-
enjoy.
Yeah, that's a really good point, especially for me because I do want that organic feel, but I can totally see what you're saying. And I even gave you an example from podcasts I listen to. I'm like, oh, there's someone
Right.
that asks this all the time.
Yeah.
And I just think it's a great question.
Right.
So I look forward to hearing people's answer to it.
And the rest of the podcast, the other 55 minutes can be chatting about whatever, but
Yeah.
it's just like those little anchor points, I guess.
Yeah. Little nuggets.
And like I always ask this game, guess the Aussie word.
Mm-hmm.
And last episode, I didn't do it because it was so spontaneous. We did the podcast and you were like, you never asked me that. You know what I mean? Like it's, I guess, something that people like expect and look forward to. And yeah. So I feel like just having the basics that you can have in pointer form. Besides that, I think you at a microphone, you at a polo, like you sitting there just on your phone sending me a video message is fantastic. So
That's like your podcast.
this is the podcast. So this is, yes, this is you.
Stop. That's hilarious. And of course, right on cue, I have like 2 more questions in my brain already.
Perfect.
One of them was you said something about getting your friends to,
Yes.
willingly or unwillingly
Yes.
participate. How does that go? Like first off, how do you pick your guests? Secondly, how do you approach them about it? And then third, what is like a what's like the most popular reaction you get from people?
Okay. So at first it was desperation. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was like, please, I need someone, and everyone was like, I'm like too nervous. I don't want to be in a podcast. And I'm like, it's just us chatting. Like,
Yeah.
you'll be fine. Like, just we can chat. So generally, what I do is I'll set the microphones up, or they're already set up, and then we'll just chat. And I'm just testing the volumes, like just keep talking, whatever. And then by the time we're done that, we're comfortable with the microphone, the sound, the headphones on, because it is at first you're like, and you're often in a place that you've not been, like I take them upstairs to my little studio, aka bedroom. Most people don't go in there. So it's sort of like, a new environment. And by the time we've like chatted for 10 minutes, it's just like, hey, you ready? I'm just going to hit record. And everyone's like been really good about it. A lot of people are still nervous. But I think by the time we're like chatting and asking a few questions, it's like their nerves have calmed down. And the other question, how do I choose my guests? Yeah, like I said, it was
Sometimes necessity.
desperation,
Yeah.
like, hey, I really need to do this. by the time I got maybe 6 in, I noticed that a lot of my friends that had listened were like, oh, I'd be on. Like they were now sort of like intrigued and like, oh, I could be a guest.
Okay.
So I sort of started to get a little momentum. And then others that I was just friends with, I was like, hey, like you'd be so interesting on my podcast. And I know I'm so boring. I've got nothing to talk about. And guaranteed that entire hour filled. And my now normal question is, will you be back?
Yeah.
Because I know that every person needs at least 2 parts.
Yeah. Which actually you didn't ask me that.
Because I just told you we're doing another.
So as you told me, you will be back.
You will be back.
Yeah.
Yes. So
I feel like that's going
I
to
think
be.
you'll get the same.
I feel like that's going to be my biggest challenge. Like I'm not like worried about that as my biggest challenge, but I anticipate looking for people. Like who wants to be on my podcast?
Right.
You know?
The best bit of advice that I can give you is don't limit yourself to in person. Because I'd only limited myself for, was it 49 episodes to in person. And then I discovered there's a program called riversidefm.com. I think it's a website. And it's free. And you can set up a channel, I guess you would call it, and then record virtually. Perfect. And you can see the person. So I've done it with your wife many a time. 8, I think, because we did one in person. But we can just do it from wherever, whenever. She's like, I got a 1 hour lunch break. I'm like, perfect.
Record.
Ching. And yeah, because we've done it so many times, it's like there's no preamble. It's just like, okay, I'm going to hit record. Boom. So yeah, I don't think you'll have any shortage of guests. And worst case, I'll jump on virtually. You'll be stuck with me again.
Such a champ.
Sorry.
Such a champ. I don't think people will get tired of it though.
No.
Especially with your accent.
Yeah.
The only thing that might make it better is if I develop an accent.
No, the only thing that would be better is if you had subtitles.
Oh, well, that could be, right?
Yes,
on those
if you did the YouTube
video platform.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll have to look into that a little bit more.
Because I'm sure everyone's like, huh?
Yeah.
What'd she say?
Yeah.
Yeah.
My other thing is intro. And I know you have a really catchy, cute musical intro.
Yes.
And your dialogue that you say each episode. You have a little
variation.
What do you call it? Shtick? I don't know what.
Yes.
What they're called.
Yeah.
Schlick?
So basically,
Slick? Whatever.
I do know what you mean. It is one of those, and I just don't even want to acknowledge it because I'm not sure which.
Yeah.
I did research this myself. I didn't know anything about it. I listened to podcasts, but I had no clue. So I just looked at royalty-free music. I didn't want to buy anything. I didn't want to get in trouble. And you are able to download the license for it. And it's like, it's a whole website. It's a whole, every genre you can think of. I found this one and I was like, yeah, it's a sort of upbeat, popish, my sort of style. And I downloaded it and then I just, like I said, put it on one of these buttons so I can just hit the button. It plays the music. Hit it, it will stop. And then the intro, I just thought about it. I was like, I just wrote out a little thing that I thought, like intro. Like I'm here from, I'm an Australian living in the USA, blah, blah, blah. And I vary it slightly. So one thing that some podcasters do is just play a pre-recorded thing and pre-recorded ending. Like go to our Facebook page, we've got a YouTube channel, whatever, links in the show notes, blah, blah, blah. I say mine every time. And for one, I just think I keep adding a personalized touch and I make it related to that episode. So I always say this is episode 70, instead of just a generalized thing. So
yeah,
you can do either. I think both work. I have listened to podcasts of both and I really appreciate that I know what I'm getting. Yeah. And then other times I'm like, oh, I love how it's mixed up, but it's the same words, but it's added yeah. Thank you from hotter Arizona or, it just the few little variations that make it a little personalized. So, it's not just a robot sitting there.
Yeah,
so
I love it. And with that, I realized we had no intro whatsoever. I didn't even introduce you. I just started talking to you.
Right.
You jumped right in.
That is awkward.
Yeah. So this is Lady Amanda.
Yes.
She's from Australia originally. but she's lived in the U.S. for going on 11 years.
You are amazing. June 13th will be 11 years.
That's like soon.
Yes.
That's in 2 weeks or whatever.
Yeah. Oh, it is because we're already in June.
Yeah.
God, I keep thinking we're in May, but we're June 2nd?
Yeah. June. I don't know what day it is, but it's definitely
I'm pretty
June.
sure yourself was June 1st. It's
yeah,
because we
June. Yeah, she
talking
was Pride
about
Month.
the Pride.
Yeah.
And ironically, I walked out in a Pride T-shirt.
Yeah. Pride. What would you say? Like company, I guess.
Yeah. And I mean, it had something. I can't remember what it said.
I don't either.
But
it was Tomboy
something
X,
Pride-ish.
which is
yes,
legit.
And then Chelsea's wife was like, "Oh, I'm like the odd one out type thing. I better get something on." I was like, "Yeah, like the three of us."
Yeah.
And then later in the day, they're like, "Yeah, because today's the first of the month," and I'm like, "Huh?" And then I was like, "That's why we're all wearing them." Like, it was just a coincidence. Yeah.
Yeah. So it is the second day of Pride Month.
Yes.
Which is very cool.
And Chelsea has a hat that says, "Love is love is love is love."
Yes.
With the rainbows. It's beautiful.
And a shirt.
This girl loves her wife.
Yes. Which I have in 3 different colors.
You do?
Yeah. And I'd have it in more if it came in different colors, but it didn't at the time.
Oh.
I should go back and look.
Will you wear a Pride shirt every day of the month?
I want to. I thought of it today when I put this on.
am giving you the challenge.
Okay, I'll do it.
And what I need you to do is document the journey. I need a photo. I'm sure we have one of you yesterday.
100%.
Sure. I need you, even if it's a selfie, whatever, to take a photo every day.
Do you want this on the socials? Or like how do you want this documented?
I think at the end, you need to make like a video of the 30 photos. You know how you can just autoplay it?
And just like boop, 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 boop.
And that be your Pride thing.
Okay, done.
How I did Pride or whatever. Yeah.
Okay. I need to like make sure after this I need to write a big note somewhere to just make sure I don't forget.
Right.
Because I'll be like, for some reason my brain will work that way.
We
I'll be like, I'm wearing a
We need to task Emma with this. She's so great about, like she would set an alarm.
Yeah. And she would be like, did you take your picture yet?
Yes.
And I'd be like, oh, thank you.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. So Emma, you have a task.
Yeah, Emma, you have a task.
Yes.
That girl. She's amazing.
She's amazing.
I feel bad giving her a task.
We haven't really touched on you. No one knows anything about you.
But wait, did we finish your intro?
No, let's get back to me. Okay. So I've been here 11 years.
Yeah.
Living in Washington State. Mm-hmm. And we met on a boat. Yeah. We were on a cruise and just randomly met and stayed in touch.
Yeah.
This was 7 months ago.
Yeah.
Does not feel it.
Yeah, going on 7 now.
Going on 7 months. And we've stayed in touch. And now I have travelled to the great state of Arizona, which is where these guys are living. And, come to stay for a little bit. So it's been amazing.
You've propelled me into this
podcast
next adventure.
Yes.
So I thank you for that.
Yeah. But you are the Chelsea.
I'm the host.
The host.
Of this.
The showrunner.
This show called My Wife's Unavailable, which I think we did.
I love it.
We did say that earlier. We at least
got the title down.
Yeah.
It's the pilot.
Yeah, it is the pilot. But yeah, no. I thank you for being here. Yeah. Honestly.
But tell us about you. Like age.
Age?
Like everything.
Like you want my weight too?
80 pounds. Of pure muscle. But introduce yourself. Like where you're from, what you do, job, everything.
Yeah, my name is Chelsea Bradley, and I'm currently a life coach and a dog walker, pet person on Rover. Yeah, Gigmeister. Yeah. So when I met Lady Amanda, she asked me what I did, and I said gig work because it was the only thing that I really felt I resonated with in terms of what I did because I do a bunch of different jobs. And so gig work.
And it may have been the most amazing job title someone could have told me. Like had she said, walk dogs and do this, I'd be like, oh, that sounds interesting, whatever. Gig work. Gig work. This is fascinating. Tell me more. What gigs? Yeah. Like it was an instant conversation starter. And I stuck in my brain. I'm like, brilliant.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe I should just do this on every episode. Do backwards. Do an intro after.
Why not?
Keep the mystery alive. Yeah. Like, who is this person?
Oh.
You know? I don't know. But no, I was born in San Diego, California.
Till she was 2.
But yeah, moved when I was 2, so I don't remember it. I do have a lot of family there still, so I've been there many times.
Right.
I just don't remember living there.
Yep.
But yeah, moved to Washington, a Seattle suburb, Marysville, Washington.
Population 72,000.
Yeah. Yeah. Grew up there, was raised there. I went up to Bellingham, Washington for college. And that was right out of high school, like 18 years old, boom, left. I was in Bellingham for like 10 years. You'd think
that's right under the Canadian border.
Yeah, it's like 30 minutes-ish.
How often would you go to Canada?
Not very often. I only went like twice, I think.
Yeah,
maybe 3 times.
Imagine living there. It'd be like, just nicking into Canada for the day.
I don't know. Honestly, Bellingham is so amazing.
Oh,
that
it's one of my favorite places.
I don't think I needed to go
right
anywhere else.
On the border.
Yeah, like I had everything there. So
it's beautiful.
Yeah, but anyway, I went there long enough to have a doctorate, but I don't. I have a good old bachelor's.
Yeah.
But yeah, and met my wife there. I mean, I had honestly an incredible life up there. Yeah. It's like I call Bellingham my home just as much as I do Marysville, even though I don't actually really call Marysville my home. That's just where I grew up. But yeah, Bellingham was just amazing. So anyway, then we moved to Redmond, Washington, because Emma was getting her master's in public health, going to Bastyr, which is in Kirkland, Washington. Lived in Redmond for a couple years, and then we kind of had a, I don't know, all the stars aligned situation where the company I worked for, they were doing a reorg, and they were centralizing my role either in Tempe, Arizona or Jacksonville, Florida.
Right.
And I already had family living here. So that's why that was even on the table. Definitely was never going to consider Jacksonville, Florida. Sorry if you live in Jacksonville.
Man.
No hard feelings. But yeah, and then our lease was ending like all at the same time. Emma was on a grant funded position.
Right.
And the grant was ending. She probably would have been hired on or, that wasn't really in question, but it was a stopping point.
Right.
And then I feel like there was something else, but anyway, we were just at this point where we were like, okay, let's move. Like, let's go somewhere. Where should we go? And then we started having all those discussions. And I personally didn't have Arizona on the mind because most of her family is in Washington. At the time, they were in Washington. And I just felt like, well, that would be crazy to leave Washington when your family's here. But a couple of the non-negotiables were Emma wanted to be somewhere warmer.
Yeah.
And
nailed it.
Yes. And the number one thing was we wanted to be near family. So we were like, if we're going to move, let's move closer to family. And she was like, well, why aren't we considering Arizona? And that just totally flipped the script for me because I was like, well, I wasn't even going to suggest it because I didn't want to take you away from your family. And she was just like, well, they're all spread out anyway. Like, if we go from Bellingham out to where her dad lives, we're taking 6 hours anyway. Like, and at this point we could fly there faster.
That's very true.
So yeah, we ended up here. And that was just a journey. But yeah. And then let's see, we lived in Phoenix for a little while, but we just bought a house in East Mesa in August, and now it's June. Yeah. So coming up on a year. That is wild. And
how long have you been married now?
Oh, thank you for that question. I skipped
the wedding. Is all about that.
Skip the wedding. Yeah.
My wife is unavailable.
Yes, exactly. We'll be married 6 years next month.
Is it July 7th?
Yes. July 7th, 2018. Wow. Yeah, and we've been together 12 this year.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Amazing.
It's been awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
They're a great couple.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I would agree.
Yeah, definitely. What I love is all the photos around the house.
Oh, yeah. And like I was telling you, it's not even half of it.
I know.
We've been really bad putting stuff up.
No, it's amazing. And just the little gifts you've been given, like of those little photo displays. And and the fact that you have your wedding album just out in the living room is amazing. Because how often do people look at that? You know what I mean?
Yeah. My aunt and my cousin they still are, but they are instrumental in like the decorative, the planning, that sort of thing of events. So, but especially they're scrapbookers. They're both very crafty. They did the photo stuff for the wedding, a lot of the decorations. They made that scrapbook. Just in the photo things you're talking about, we had those like as centerpieces. I mean,
is that what they were?
Just hanging around the venue.
Oh,
yeah, it was
amazing.
I mean, obviously I'm biased, but it was a beautiful wedding. It was a beautiful
I'm not going to lie.
day.
I spent about an hour looking at the photos yesterday, and it looked like so much like love.
So
like
much love.
Not even between you guys, but their family and friends. And please tell everyone what you guys were wearing, because I find that very special.
You like that?
Yeah.
Okay, we were all in rainbow. Like the people that wanted to wear dresses were in a solid color from the rainbow.
Yeah.
Going in order: red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet.
Aww.
And then the people that didn't want to wear a dress were in slacks, like navy blue slacks, and a white button-up shirt with a solid color vest from the rainbow. And which actually I didn't get to tell you was Emma's side of the family had more than 7 people.
Right.
So we were like, what do we do with the 8th one? Like, do we put them in a double color? Do we start the rainbow over again? It was a whole discussion.
I can only imagine.
Yeah. Well, her brother, he actually played a really big role getting us together, because I was like best friends with him, and he caught me checking her out one night.
Yeah. In
admiration, not like, as an object or something.
Right.
And he's like, "Are you checking out my sister?" And I was like, I was like, "No." Like I said earlier, terrible at lying. So I was caught immediately. Yeah. Well, she was in a kind of rocky relationship at the time. And so he was really like planting the seed, and like, this person likes you, this person's great, that person isn't. Like, can we just like shift gears here,
Wow.
Well, he had a saying that he was like, I just feel like the two of you, or I just feel like there was a golden egg and the two of you popped out of it. And we were like, that's so silly, like cracking up about it, but it was a saying. So we put him in gold. He had a gold vest. And then we were like,
the pot of gold.
Exactly. The pot of gold and the rainbow. Wow. It was just like, it all came together. So that's a fun story about that.
Amazing.
But yeah, rainbow everywhere, but not like, we didn't want to overdo it, but I love rainbow. I love how colorful it was. And we got married at Fort Worden State Park. So it was big open park.
Yeah.
And we had people coming up to us that were staying at the park or visiting the park that weren't with our wedding party or wedding, that were like, that was the most beautiful thing I've seen.
Giving me goosebumps. Like, that's
literally
amazing.
People were coming up just like, that was so beautiful. Like seeing all the colors, and everyone was so happy. I mean, it's a wedding, so everyone's happy already.
No, but like, love is love is love.
Oh my gosh. It was amazing. And they're honestly, like, during our ceremony, there was not a dry eye. Like,
I saw the photo.
Everyone was crying.
Like, everyone is crying.
Everyone was crying.
Even you were crying.
Oh, I was bawling. I'm such a baby. Like, when it comes, I'm so sensitive. Like, I can't even, sometimes I'm singing a song to Emma, and I have to stop, because I'm like, oh God, I'm about to choke up and cry. Like, I can't. So when I was reading my vows, I was like, I told our friend at the time who was officiating, I was like, you got to hold the mic, because I got to really focus here. Like, I'm going to be crying. I need to get through this, this paper. And I was just like, immediately, I was crying when I proposed. And Emma was like, woo, yeah, like throwing her beer bottle. And I'm like, just sitting here, like shaking, like crying, even though I knew she was going to say yes. But it's just, I'm so like emotional when it comes to those situations. Yeah. So, but yeah, it was amazing.
Oh,
yeah.
It's because you have a pure heart.
So yeah, that's my little love story. But yeah. Yeah. What else about me that the listeners need to know right now?
Likes, dislikes. What do you do for work?
Oh, duh. I'm a life coach.
Where can people find you?
Yeah, I'm a life coach, which is kind of where this has started, because, I do want this to be fun and organic, and, just, it doesn't need to be like a certain thing.
No.
But it does come from, like, let's just put our real selves out there. Like, let's just do something, and do something that makes you happy. So,
yes,
I talked about this a little bit on your podcast,
Mm-hmm.
but what I really like to focus on with my life coaching is like reigniting your spirit or getting back in touch with your spirit, those things that really light you up. And, you know, just why not surround yourself with that sort of thing?
Yeah.
I think I even have on my website, like, who doesn't want to thrive in life? Because, like, literally, who doesn't want to thrive? It feels good, and you're not hurting anybody. So, like, just
and the
do
biggest
it.
thing I've learnt lately is life is so short.
The shortest.
So short. You know what I mean? So why spend so much time being miserable when what was the saying you said to me last night? It wasn't even a saying. You just said to me something is a choice. Or what was it?
Oh.
It was very profound.
Oh, I said it's in our control.
That's the word. It's in our
Yeah.
And that was like a light bulb. I
Yeah.
was like, it's in our control.
Yeah. Your happiness
what I
is
mean?
in your control, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, it can be, I'm sure I might ruffle some feathers when I say that, because some people have hard situations that they're in.
Right.
And I completely understand that. I do. I just feel like, let me put it this way. I feel like a lot of times there is more that we can do about it than we think.
Yes.
And like, just explore all your options, all the avenues, and don't be scared. Do not be scared. Just like, and I even play worst case scenario with myself all the time. What is the worst thing that can happen? Could I handle that? Yeah, it would suck, but I could handle it. So let's just go. That
is literally what propels me in life as well. I'm like, what's the worst that can happen?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What's the very worst?
Yeah.
And then when I think of the very worst, I could die. You know, I'm just like,
and at that point,
still worth it.
And at that point, you're dead. So you can't do anything about it.
What does it matter?
Yeah.
Where can people find you?
People can find me on chelseabcoaching.com. That's my website. It's beautiful. I freaking love it. Check it out. My Instagram is Chelsea B Coaching.
Right.
My Facebook page is Prioritize You, which I understand is a little bit different. My actual coaching business name is Prioritize You. So that's where that comes from.
Just for all the Australian listeners, I just want to say it's Prioritize with a Z.
Prioritize with a Z.
Because in Australia we say
the other way around.
S-E. Yes.
Oh, wow.
So,
okay.
in case those little
Do you think
Aussies,
I'm going to have some Australian followers? I mean, I have one
will
already.
Make my mum listen to
Okay,
it.
perfect. I got two.
There you go.
Love it.
We're good. We're good.
Yeah.
I'm excited for you.
Yeah. Other than that,
amazed that I'm like the first guest. I feel very honored.
Other than that, look for me out in the community.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get out there.
Okay.
I'm trying to just, be neighborly. I'm trying to be a good neighbor, you know?
Oh, you are.
Yeah.
You are.
Anyway, well, you know what? We can just wrap up now.
Okay.
We might as well.
Okay.
But yeah, thank you for filling in for my wife today.
It's been a pleasure. Your wife is unavailable.
Yep.
So I've got to
unavailable for now. But yeah, no, I appreciate it. And
no worries.
I'm going to use your question.
Okay.
Will you be back?
Oh my God. Yes.
Why not,
1000%.
right? Yeah.
You cannot get rid of me.
All right. I love that.
Cool.
Thank
Have
you so
an
much.
amazing day.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.